You can call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Rodolfo Vieira takes on Petroski to open up the main card of UFC Fight Night. Gregory Rodrigues versus Cannonier. This is kind of a stinker of a fight to open up the main card, honestly. Neither of these guys really can strike. They're more of grappling, dominant guys. So I'm curious to see, are we going to see a stalemate from a grappling perspective in a boring striking match, or are we going to see these guys get after it on the ground like we want to see? Because if they're on the feet, it's going to be a kind of a snooze fest, in all honesty. Rodolfo Vieira, 10-2 as a professional fighter, 35 years old, 6 foot, 73-inch reach. World-class, elite-level grappling on this guy. 4-time IBJJF world champion and ADCC champion. Looked really good in his last fight against Petroski. Looked in really good shape, which is good to see. Sometimes we see him gas and not have the best cardio in his fights. It seems like he kind of comes out of the gates sprinting, looking for that takedown and looking for that finish before people really know it hit him. But showed improved striking with decent calf kicks, decent feints. Still not the best striker, and like I said, does have cardio issues. So really good timing on his takedowns. Just seems like if he can't get his takedowns, he's in big trouble. Like, he got hurt against Cody Brundage, who's a decent wrestler, which is very concerning because I don't rate Cody Brundage very high at all. And then didn't look too well against Chris Curtis, who's got phenomenal takedown defense. But he wasn't able to get Chris Curtis down and just kind of got picked apart on the feet for that fight. But has very good performances as well. You know, Dustin Stoltzfus finished him. Anthony Hernandez looked really good, ended up gassing and choked out by Hernandez. But, you know, Fluffy's one of the best guys we have at middleweight right now. Unbelievable grappling. I wouldn't say really good grappling, unbelievable cardio. Can kind of push guys to the limit and take advantage of them when they get tired and then they start making mistakes. Petroski, copy and paste what I just said. Really good wrestler, really good grappler on paper. Not as good as Vieira, but very tough dude. I would say that he's probably the better striker, which isn't saying much, but he wouldn't mind standing on the feet. Whereas I feel like Vieira is going to be shooting, trying to get it to the ground. His last fight was against Dylan Budka. Really just took him down each round and controlled him. Budka had nothing from bottom, which is just crazy. You're an elite level wrestler and you got nothing on bottom. You can't sweep, you can't do anything. Like, blows my mind. Before that, same kind of thing. Josh Frem took him down and kind of handled him there. Fight before that against Jacob Malkoun, who's also a really good wrestler, ended up like knocking himself out on Jacob Malkoun's thigh. It's the craziest thing. Shot in a takedown, like hit his head right on the hip bone or something, stunned him. Malkoun jumped on top of him, TKO'd him, and before that got beat up by Michel Pereira, who's just a savage on the feet. Like I said, decent striking. He's a southpaw, which might give Vieira issues. His cardio looks to be okay. He was able to go obviously 3 rounds at a decent pace against Josh Frem and Dylan Budka. I just feel like in this fight, when it's two primarily grapplers who aren't going to be looking to strike very much, you just got to go with the guy who has more finishing ability and would win in a straight up grappling jiu-jitsu match, and that's Vieira. You're not going to find anybody in the middleweight division that's going to really be able to compete with him there. And I see this eventually going to the ground because Vieira, he's not concerned if you're shooting takedowns. He would rather you shoot a takedown on him, take him down, let him work his bottom game, or look to sweep to get on top. So he's not scared of you shooting takedowns on him and getting him. You know, that's actually where he wants to be. He'd rather you be shooting takedowns than throwing high kicks. Petroski will be pushing forward, throwing punches. I think that's going to make it a little bit more difficult for Vieira to get his takedowns. But again, the more he pushes forward, the more options it is for Vieira to duck under and get those takedowns. So I do worry that Vieira, we get into the second round, halfway through the second round, third round, he gets too tired to shoot takedowns. And if he's not getting the better of the striking on the feet, which I don't think he will, I think he'll lose. by decision. I don't think Petroski puts him away by any means, but he did get tired and stopped shooting takedowns against Chris Curtis just because he knew he wasn't going to get him, and he had to keep something in the tank to not get just walked down on the feet. So biggest thing that really changed my mind on this fight is Petroski's taking this on 5 weeks notice, which is still a decent amount of time, but in terms of a guy who relies on his cardio to grapple, to really grapple and put a pace on people, it's concerning. I don't know if Vieira, who his opponent was, but I know that Petroski took this on short notice. So just got to default to Vieira in this one with him having the full camp. And him just being the better jiu-jitsu guy. He's going to be hunting for that finish the entire time with a guy who's going to be willing to go there with him. You know, Petroski's got an ego. He's going to want to, you know, prove his grappling versus somebody else's grappling. I don't see him as somebody who's going to just try and keep it on the feet because he knows how good Vieira is on the ground. So a lot of submissions on his record as well. He's 33, Vieira's 35. Nothing really significant in terms of their frames. They're both 6 foot, 73-inch reach. But I got to go with Vieira in this one, just being the better submission artist, and only lost to guys that push great paces and have really good takedown defense who can strike. And I don't see that in Andre Petroski. He's been hurt in his fights. He finds a way to get it to the ground and win more often than not. And Andre Petroski knocks himself out on other guys' thighs shooting takedowns. So he also hasn't fought the best guys. He hasn't fought as good a competition as Vieira, who's beating Arman Petrosian, fought Chris Curtis, Stoltzfus, Anthony Hernandez, fought a lot of good guys outside of the UFC before he got in. So got to go with Rodolfo Vieira. I can see him getting the sub in this one against Petroski, probably round 2, round 3, as long as he doesn't gas. But if he can't get that, I think he'll control the grappling exchanges long enough and be threatening with submissions to get a decision. So let me know what you guys think. I think this one's pretty close. Minus 215 for Vieira versus plus 175 for Andre Petroski. So I could see Petroski keeping it on the feet or just staying safe on the ground and winning and getting on top, landing more damage on the ground. But I just think Vieira gets this one done. So let me know what you guys think. Appreciate you watching.